Market is open.
15. Good morning, guys. Yeah, I'm live. Good morning, guys. Happy Easter. I hope you had a good weekend. Everyone rested well, had time with their family, friends, and loved ones. Market, it's back, just like every week. We have, I won't say we really have a play today. I will say there is things moving, and there's a lot of bear market signals coming up in the next few weeks. We have a lot of earnings that are coming out soon, and most of them are looking like they're going to lose their earnings. I'm looking at a contract winner right now on Casa, which partnered with Verizon. Other than that, like INDO, before it closed on Thursday, because we had a very long weekend, it climbed from $15 to $25, and so we could see something like a really big bounce, probably even up to the 40s, where the last consolidation and stuff was on INDO. But other than that, I traded on Thursday MDVL, and it's pretty much like a 3-star bounce short. Before I talk about that, back to KSAA. This is a contract winner. It was up 30% to 50% before the market even opened, with 15 million volume, and I consider anything over 7 million crowded. I want to say crowded, 7 million is decent volume, but it's getting towards the crowded area. But once you actually get past 15, that's where you're actually crowded. And when I'm looking at crowded tickers, I'm expecting some weird actions. I'm talking about you either fall right at the open, or you do a slight perk, pull back a little bit, and then you squeeze another 30-40%. I don't know which one this is going to be, but it has a high market cap of 300 million at this point. And so it's also a part of technology, which has been dying in the on the weekly and the daily a lot. Plus all these earnings and everything coming up, with all the banks, pretty much everyone not meeting their earnings and getting affected overall by inflation and cost and etc. I don't actually see this going too far. And when I say too far, I'm talking about under 120%. But at the same time, KSAA is the only one in the top gainers right now that's even worth dip buying for people. And so I just want to see how much volume's actually attracted and buy this ticker, because it was originally $4, $4, and now it's already $6. Everything else below this is under 30%, and I know a lot of people would actually want to see KSAA make new highs rather than go into INDO, which has already been beaten down. My only concern with it is it has a high market cap and then a very small float, and so I don't think too many people would try to fight to get this over 100%, because that's 300 million that's needed to get this over 100%, which is not as easy to get as 100 million. You could probably get that 300 million over a couple hours, but in the first hour in the market, it's going to be pretty hard organically. That's all I'm going to say about that. But So I'm not looking for any like gap up short or anything time soon. And then when it comes to like pre-market breakout and stuff, it's not as ideal, because it, it didn't have the under 100, like it didn't meet the criteria. But it still will do something. It's just going to be a lot slower than you would think. That's all I'm going to say about that. But MDVL, yeah, last Thursday I went in at 240, and I made an early short at like 220, so an average of like 235, and I was risking 245. This was a minimum bounce short where it actually went like 100% range on the day, matched with 190 million volume, spread over, I think it was like 40 cents in the past. Yeah, 194 million, but it was spread pretty decent amount, so it wasn't ideal. But there was other factors happening on the daily, or not the daily, but like on the, what do you call that? I want to say like politically or geopolitically and stuff, that I thought it was worth, trying. And yeah, now that I did that, I have 1 day trade until Wednesday. Wednesdays, my dude. Yeah. But other than that, I'm just chilling, watching to see what happens, waiting for SPY to drop, and Bank of America to come out today with its earnings. It probably already happened. I just haven't seen it yet. But with JP Morgan going down like 42%, BlackRock, and like all the other earnings we had like last week going down, I just want to see how that's going to affect the overall market so I can get out of my position, because I pretty much have an ultimatum at this point. Since there's not a lot of bad things that are going to be in my favor to get out of my oversized position, after May 1st, I'm trying to turn off the PDT, depending on what kind of lows it makes before May 1st. So in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot of earnings. Main ones I'm looking for are Johnson & Johnson, Netflix, Tesla, P&G. I won't really say Snapchat, but Blackstone. That's a big one. Blackstone, like that, that could crash the market by itself, just like BlackRock last week. Especially after all that stuff, they were like, "Don't worry, consumers. Don't worry, everybody. We own most of the stuff in the world. We got you. We won't let the market crash." And then the earnings just like dead. Like a lot of money. Like, but other than that, American Express, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, like pretty much the top 5-6 companies in the SPY, and then the minimum 50-point basis hike in May. Also a few more reports from the Fed. Yeah, but all that stops after like May 1st, May 2nd area. And that's a Sunday. And so if I want to get out of my PDT, I gotta let like a business day or something go through before that. So my ultimatum is pretty much the 29th. Just so I don't have any complications on the 2nd. My thing is, I just don't want them to suddenly have a 50-point basis hike and then turn it into a 25, or just keep their 50-point basis hike, but people are expecting a 75 and then have some reason to be optimistic and rally another $20-$30, and then I get stuck there holding the bag again, and then I got to wait another 2-3 weeks, which I'm good for because I got the time on the expiration date, but I'm not even trying to cut it close. Pretty much using the calculator right now, I have to get below like 410, like by that point, probably even like 405, before I get to the point where I break even, because of the time decay. And I'm not happy about that. Yeah. But, I still think there's a chance. So I'm going to take it. All right. Let me go back to the thing I was doing. Morning, Monday. Hi, GM. Do you think CASA is good for long? Yeah, I already said it's not. Like the market cap's way too high. If it does make new highs, it's going to take some time. Wait for a pullback. Make sure the pullback's less than, I want to say less than 15. It's definitely going to be like a little over 10. And then I'd add into one of the pullbacks and have like a fixed amount that you're trying to reach. Like the only thing that's going to make this go higher is like short squeezes and people feeling optimistic from a very small pullback. Like you're not going to get a lot of volume and demand come in all at once to make this go higher. You have to trap some people in here. That's how this speaks to me. Just for the long though. In terms of short, you don't have the extension, and so I wouldn't even think about it. But it does have the fundamentals that are favored for the shorts. That's why I can't really see this going over 100% like anytime before like 12. Yeah, unless you just do the perfect, like just trapping people and squeeze 2-3 times. Like 3-4 pullbacks. I can even kind of name the prices. Yeah, but I'll leave it at that. I was kind of excited to see 434 on SPY this morning. Yeah, I was too. Yeah. What do you call it? I was watching a video on YouTube, and someone was explaining the JP Morgan like bank statements from last week, and they were talking about the part of the bank statement where they put it in the market, and they say that even though they're down like 42% like overall, they're up on their quarter or month over month. They're up like 46%, and that 46% was the money that they made in the market. And so like all these rallies and pumps and stuff, it's the banks. They're pretty much making these supports. So again, this stuff is rigged. But it's still going down. Still rigged though. I was kind of excited to see 434 on the SPY this morning, but it's going up again. Yeah, like by the end of the day, I think it should crack 434 as it rallies back up to 440. But on average, the SPY only moves like $10. And so at the end of this week, there's at least like 3, maybe 4 major earnings. Like we only need like 2 of them to crack. We only need one of them technically if it's next to like a very important support, because the anticipation is going to like help crack that support. I just don't understand how the rallies are going to like react to this. It's like, so we have a support at 434. and another one at 4:30, and then the one that everyone's paying attention to is the 4:20, because like, you know, that was the previous one that everyone was paying attention to, because how do you say this? Like, it was we're supposed to fall off a cliff point once it was broken, but then it had that double bottom, like for the like 410, like the cliff that was supposed to break 400. It became like a triple bottom area, and so that became really bullish. And then you see what happened. Big bear rally, even though it's kind of in the transition into a bear market, but everyone's been, you know, using the R word, or the recession and stuff, plus all the other things that are like on our side right now. Main thing is, it all really depends on when the earning comes out and how close we are to that like final support. But at any point, you know, those banks can all come together and just try to protect that 420, but that's only going to get them like an extra week or two of like time, especially if the Fed gets like mad at that again, and then they come in and start, you know, talking very aggressive again, or hawkish. So at the end of the day, you just have to wait, and I hate it. Yeah. I'm sitting very erect today because you know, I wrecked my back. I was feeling young again, and I was doing some deadlift, and I put on like close to 400, and I was just like, ooh, I was like, this easy. I get to like rep 6, and I'm like, I lost focus, and I finished the workout too, like 4 or 5 sets after that. I should have sat down. I think I was mad after the MDLV trade. MDLV, yeah. I was so confident that this was going to break the 190. Even though I knew, you know, it wasn't ideal. I was still confident because it was something. It wasn't Tesla. It was something negative in the news that day. I don't think I wrote a March recaps. No, April recaps. Yeah, I didn't write a thing for it. Rookie mistake. What? Yeah, but that's it. Just waiting for the earnings to come out, watching for what happens on CASA. Anybody else got anything? When it comes to MDLV, even though this is technically this is not all-time highs. Even though this is technically like overextended, I'm not gonna touch it for a while. The only reason I touched it last time was because it had all that resistance spread over like a wide area, and then it already formed a top. Like, it was mostly because that top plus the previous resistance gave me that double layer kind of feeling, but it still wasn't ideal because of the fundamentals. And oh yeah, that's what it was. Oh no, I know why it was bad. I just don't know why. I thought it was going down all the way. Like, but I was talking so much crap, or I was talking so much stuff in the chat too. I was like, it cracked. I was like, die. Like, I wasn't even gonna make that much money on that. I didn't put like 6K, but my pride. Okay, I'm done. Oh, I just know my back hurts. Much better. other than that, I did a lot of studying over the weekend. You know, for the people in the Freedom Challenge, I kept going back over the what do you call it? The starter kit. It's always good to hear, you know, plain simple English. What should you focus on, and, you know, like ground yourself on what's important and things like that. Went over about like 30 of Steven's YouTube videos, like the ones from like 2018, like late 2018 to 2019. And so I like to make like bullet points of how I would define something versus like how Steven does it. So I have a lot of little note cards with those on it. And I could definitely see like small little differences from how he defined it back then versus how we define it now. And, you know, where I kind of fall in between, and how technically they're all right because it's, you know, it fits the situation. Yeah, but like a lot of their definitions are a lot more refined than mine. So that definitely gave me some type of insights. Or not insights, what do you call that? Revelation? Something like that. Cool. Did you blindly trust Steven? Yeah, to an extent I do. You know, there's a lot of people that do that like, oh, in ducks we trust. Well, I like to give Steven shit. So how do I say it? Like, I understand that like everyone has their mistakes and their faults and their perspective and like things like that. And so I just know the history of me like underestimating Steven has put me on like the back end of stuff. But I also know the history of me, like, you know, not fighting him, but like being like the protagonist or the antagonist or the, what do you call it, the foil. It's definitely made me a better person and definitely put him in a position to where he can, like, you know, step on my ass. And like it makes him like better in the end. So I can't really say like I blindly trust him, but I do have like a deep trust in him, like in all his states, like, you know, when he's active, passive, and things like that. When he's down, he knows I can rise to the occasion. When like I'm down, I know he'll be there. When it comes to like, you know, his ability and his skills, I know that like he has traits like patience and like, and things like around that nature, and like a level of like cognitive how do I say, like a high level of focus, pretty much, that he's gonna be able to do a lot of stuff that I can't do without using as much like effort or energy, I want to say. I can't really say I blindly trust him, but there is like a level of trust there. If anything, I feel like I'm the type of person that even though I can go get like the same trade or the same teachings and the same like stuff like from someone else, like a recipe, there you go. I feel like me and him, we can have the same recipe and he can have extra ingredients, and I'm missing some ingredients, but I won't take his ingredients because of like some type of ego thing, like pride or arrogance or like something like that. I'm like, what makes you think that I need your ingredients? And like, even though if it's like coming out of kindness, it's just be like pure stubbornness. Like, you know, the old person that doesn't want to go to the doctor or something just because he's just like, what do you mean my body's not healthy? Like, it goes into that type stuff. Like, know yourself. And I fall towards that conservative, like, leave me alone kind of person. My persona's happy though. What's your daily max loss? 3K. Yeah, 3K. Well, that's my max loss. Daily max loss, it would be a fifth of that then. So like $600. Yeah, because what was it? I'd be looking for 6 to 8K per position, aiming to make at least 1.5K to like 3K on the wins, and what do you call it? I'm trying to. Oh. All I know is like I keep 3K as like my max loss. Everything below that, it really depends on the setup. Because I could be risking anything under 20%. And so if it's a gap up short and I have like 2 solid tries, I'd be trying to risk like 5 to 7% each try. And then have a fixed amount of time that I'm willing to wait between each try. So like, again, with this CASA and it's being a gap up, or like a potential gap up, or at least the first end of like the first half of a pre-market breakout, that type of stuff, waiting for that momentum shift to happen. If I tried at like the 70% and then there's like a pullback, but then the pullback, you know, reverses, or it's like taking too long and it looks like it's finding some support, I'll take like a very small loss, like a paper cut of like, you know, 3%, 5%, 7%. And then I'll wait like 45 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour and a half, waiting for new highs to be broken. I'll pull back to happen again, some type of consolidation, and then have that consolidation get like, you know, tight enough to the point where, you know, if float rotated 3-4 times in that consolidation, then I go in. Now, however long that takes, you know, that really just depends on not only the setup, but like how much volume was traded up to that point, how much range was created up to that point. So, wait, what was the question? Yeah, but like with that, my daily loss will be like cut into fractions. And so if I'm trying to keep it under 20%, but preferably like 15%, I'd cut that into however many tries I'm willing to take. And so if I'm trying to only take, you know, 3 attempts each like ticker, but preferably 2, I just cut it up. It goes into that. Yeah, that makes sense. These aren't Steven trades. These are Dante trades. Yeah. Well, with Steven trades, you probably have 2 trades in the past 6 months. So I'll just be staring at this screen and then talking about stuff that I could do or would do. And then I'd also have like a lot smaller account. I wouldn't share anything. I just, yeah, like I could definitely go into this, but the thing is, we haven't had anything ideal in like a very long time, or like ideal that I've been tracking, which is pretty much, you know, gap up short, bounce short, gap plus bounce. When it comes to like multi-day runner, dollar block, overextended gap down, and then like a few of the long strategies, like I don't track that a lot because that's not what I like focused on in the past year. But I still have been like aware of it in a way, and like tracking it very loosely in terms of like pictures and comments and stuff like that. But nothing's come up that's been ideal. The whole like dollar block and momentum shift and everything, it's been slightly like there's no stability for you to track like 150 samples and then just actually start saying these are the key points on the chart. Like there's no consistency right now. So you only can use the concept to trade. So, you know, if, how do I say this? Like for Steven's size account, nothing ideal has come up. But if he had like a very small account, he'd still only trade like max 5 times in the past like 6 months. Or I said 6 months, like 5 months. There's definitely some plays in October, and probably like one during December. Yeah. I don't know what that means. BAC just beat its earnings. Bank of America Corporation. Wait, beat its earnings? How much? Whoa. Okay, by 7%. Oh, okay, there we go. By 0.54%. Yeah. They're cutting it pretty close each time. Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out later. All right, let's see. These aren't Steven trades, these are Dontez trades. Me too, I'm blind. What is your daily loss? What do you mean? Yeah, I think I already answered those. By the way, your ways, you say, and hats really look like Steven's. Okay, your ways and hats really look like Steven. Yeah, of course. They come from the same source. There's going to be a lot of similarities between like my ways and like Steven's ways. We came from the same high school, spent the last like 10 years together. And like he's like 6 months older than me. And so there's like that brotherish kind of like role model relationship a little bit. We're definitely going to feed off of each other in a lot of ways. You know, if you saw any kind of slang or like the bad English and stuff like that, he probably got that from me, because I never try to focus on my vocabulary or my articulate speaking and stuff. I used very simple words in context. A good thing we had Jimmy, because he's the opposite. Like he wants to just use vocabulary like an Englishman, which, you know, that's pretty good. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of similarities between us. And the hats you wear really look like Steven's. Okay, so when I wear a snapback, I think of like a few of my friends, and like Steven is one of them. But like when I look at Steven wearing a snapback, I think of him pretending to be a certain characteristic that he sees, like in terms of an impression, not of a like a race, but like of a culture. And you know, I don't have to pretend to like how to say it? Yeah, it definitely doesn't fit my image. I see what you mean. Yeah. You always say feel uncomfortable, etc. He is the same. Yeah. Always say it feels uncomfortable. Yeah, because it does feel uncomfortable. Like how to say it? Like there's a lot of stiffness, but like yeah, like I don't know. Like if you're not specific, I can definitely interpret that in 3 different ways, and each way you're kind of right. I just don't want to like, you know, give you more than what you're actually asking for. I've been with my girlfriend for 11 years too. Twinning. I wish I am you so I could meet with him in school also. If you met with him in school, like you guys get in trouble. Like so much trouble. Like what is it? This one time we volunteered at a nursing home, and we're over here exchanging stories. And I'm like, oh, this crazy thing happened this time. And he's just like, well, this is how we do it in China. And like, you know, I brought some other neighborhood friends with me. All of them, like after all the stories he told, they're just like, all right, note to self. I'm not getting a Chinese girlfriend. I'm not messing with the Chinese like in a bad way. But when I want to party, I know who I'm going with. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? The nursing home didn't have old people. Like it was a newer nursing home. We just had to clean it, by the way. Like we weren't being a public disturbance or anything. I kind of miss my dad now. It was just like, man, Dontez, you guys probably want to go into the nursing home and push over wheelchairs or something like that. I forgot the punchline. Yeah, but I just remember him saying push over wheelchairs, and I was like, I'm not mean. I wish I am you. Oh, I already read that. You get some dreads. I miss my dreads. When you go back home to Ohio, tell everyone California really changed you. You know, having dreads is a second job. Like the maintenance on them, like especially getting them locked. Like after they get locked and they get past like 4 or 5 inches, you still need like a lot of beeswax or like whatever you want to put up there to make it lock and like keep it like twisted. Plus like the itchy scalp if you're not used to it at that point. I had like a tender part of my scalp from like all the braiding and all the things like that. Wasn't my favorite thing to do. So like as soon as I went to China and like shaved everything off, I was just like, I'm gonna come back to America and I'm gonna be what did I say? It's supposed to be like China changed me forever type stuff. And so when you say California really changed you, I'm just like, man, how many changes are you supposed to go through? But then, that's an endless topic right there. Oh, last night, I went out to dinner with friends and, Steven was there. And it's a Chinese restaurant. A guy comes from the back. I don't know if he works there or owns the place or something, but he comes over and taps my shoulder. We just finished like 7 pounds of shrimp. Like we're all super full and like we're feeling fat and like I'm cognitively declined at this point. And he comes up to me and he's just like, "Hey, you." And I'm like, "Oh, hello, sir." And he's like, "You look like Dave Chappelle." And I'm like, okay, is this I was like, what kind of moment is this? I was like, I love Dave Chappelle. And the dude's just like, yeah, he performed right over here at this improv building. I'm like, what? No kidding. He's like, yeah, he talked about me. He talked about me all the point till I went to the bathroom. And then he was still talking about me. I could hear him in the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm really confused how to respond to this guy in the moment. Because, I just went from like, shooting the shit with my friends and like I'm super full. And I'm just like, wow, that's a great experience for you. I'm jealous. I was like, if I could meet him, that'd be pretty cool too. And then, my friends are like, yeah, you really do look like him. And I'm just like, all right, guys, damn well I don't look like this dude. I was like, all we have in common is like we're bald, black, and like have that depressed Ohio northern look. And the guy, it's Easter, so he's like really happy. And so I'm trying to keep up the mood. I'm just like, well, thanks, sir. You made my night. Now what did I say? I said, you made my night. I was like, I'm gonna have something to tell tomorrow. But I told him family, like I would tell the family. And he went away, just being all old and Asian and went that way. But somebody says Saitama. I forgot what I was gonna say. I wonder how this Bank of America positive earning is gonna affect stuff. Cause like it goes back into that expectation talk. Like if you barely beat like your earnings mark, because last one they barely lost it, now they barely won it. It's still positive technically, but I still don't think it's gonna do very much like overall. But this is the beginning of the week, and I want to see like if people actually pay attention to that, and they're like, oh, maybe the next couple banks and stuff are gonna do the same. Like, how is this gonna affect the overall expectations? Is pretty much what I'm going for. But other than that, we got a new pullback on CASA. It climbed another 80 cents. My prediction was it was supposed to go to 630. Was it 633? Plus at the what do you call that? Slippage, which I didn't do. The next one should put us at like 710. Yeah, that's if it goes that high. Now we're already at 70 million volume, but they started at 15. So it's already in that crowded area. And they already decided to make... should I consider this 2 legs? Yeah. You go down to 50. Back up. Yeah, it's only 70%. Not looking at it. But what am I doing? I didn't know you had dreads before though. But you could add the patois and say mon every sentence. Saitama! How much is his stomach now? How is his stomach now? Oh, Steven's stomach is much better. The ulcers and the what do you call that? One of them had parasites. Like pretty much when we came to California, we got a new doctor. And like the reason we would fly out so many times was so he could see that doctor. He thought it was the insomnia, the stress from trading, plus like a few other things that just gave him ulcers. But it actually turned out to be hormone imbalance. And so as soon as we fix that hormone imbalance, he started sleeping better. And then once he started sleeping better, he started eating more and started like being able to lift a lot better. And then his like mind got better and stuff like that. But the whole imbalance in the hormones came from like the stress and trading, and then like him slacking in a few like areas in his diet. Like overall, just how do I say it? You know how hormone imbalances like probably go about. There's so many ways that you can do it, but that was the end of the thing I was talking about. Casa on his third push. Well, if it's on his third push, it would be the time to do it. For this to be able to crack. Yeah, for this to crack, I'd say to have to pull back under 730. Yeah, if it doesn't do that, especially before 11, then you'll see another. 11 seems like too much time. Okay, I want to say like 10:45. Then you'll see another leg higher, and then that leg will squeeze up to. I want to say like 7:30, but it pretty much somewhere between like 7:10 and 720. And then at that point, that's where you have another 10%. So it'd be like 85 at that point. That cracked. Oh yeah, water. I was like, something's off. I feel like there's something else. The whole Tesla thing. He said, bless you. I don't even remember sneezing. Oh, but thank you. The whole Tesla thing. You know, Elon Musk, he was trying to buy Twitter. The board was really happy to, you know, put him on the board. And they're just like, okay, I buy 9%. Okay, I'll buy like 14%. Okay, guys, I'll just buy the whole company. And then people were like, maybe he's bluffing. Maybe he's not. The Twitter, you know, investors, they're just like, hey, Twitter, you're not going to sell. If you sell, you're pretty much going to kill our returns. And like, you're going to, you know, betray our trust and like all this other stuff. Put Twitter in a bad spot. Twitter pretty much denied or try to call like Elon's bluff. And it's just like, hey, this is this offer you have is looking pretty light. And you know, they hired 2 extra banks to like back them up and say this offer is like, you know, too light. One of them messed up on the offer and said, oh, we want $30 per share. Other one's just like, hey, we want like 56 57 per share. And his initial offer was like, you know, 54. At the end of the day, I don't think the deal went through, and it's going to affect Tesla in some type of way. And so the next support, like major support on Tesla, is like 950. And what are we in the low tens? It's yeah, TL said something LA. TSA, I think. TELA. No, it definitely has an S. Yeah. I just look at my phone. I already have it there. Yeah, but there's so many just interesting things. I want to see what happens. Okay, so it's at 1,000 right now, like 1,002. On a low of 730, 973. Man, sometimes I feel like I have dyslexia. I start reading stuff backwards. Forgot. You ever forget that you're hurt? I do that all the time. Like, you know, like I pulled my back Friday, and I still went through like Saturday doing stuff like normally, like and then I played tennis yesterday. It's one of those injuries where, like, you know, once you warm up, you're just like, oh, okay, it's not as bad, you know, as long as I don't overstretch past this point, put this amount of pressure on it, you know, I could do everything. And like I got into tennis yesterday, and like playing with a like really good guy, and Steven, and you know, the ball just like stays above like 90, like 100 miles an hour. Every time I would get into a shadow or like sit on the bench, I'd get up and I'd be like, it's like, go without me, guys. Leave me behind. I don't like seeing most of these tickers green on my phone right now, even though it's like barely. So Twitter's actually at 47. We're pretty close. I think a lot of Elon is just him flexing his nuts. Oh yeah, of course. Definitely a ego thing. Just proving that he can push the market around with a comment and laughing about it. Like when you look at his comments on Twitter, it's obvious that he does that. Like even the way he talks to the SEC, he sees everything as a joke, and I love it. You know, every time I look through like the YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and things like that, I always see like a little snippet of him coming up. And like there's a lot of traits I see in him that I see that like Steven used him as like a role model. And so like a lot of those ego problems, not problems, but like those ego traits, like I could see Steven getting to that point at some point. And so it just makes me think, you know, I've seen how innocent Steven was and is and things like that. So at like some level, I kind of feel something for like Elon at a point. You know, he's still human, but like I don't know, everything just seems interesting to me, and that's how I describe Elon. I just want to see what is he gonna do. But when he starts affecting like, you know, like other people's business and well-being and things, I'm glad he's positive about it. Like who challenges the Russian president to a wrestling or sumo match? Like you got to be loving life or like something. Like that sounds like some stuff I would do if I had money and like just all the time. But he definitely worked hard and stuff for it. Like one of the biggest things that like stood out to me from those like little snippets I would see all the time would be the 4 launches that it took for him to launch the SpaceX, and he's just like, oh yeah, if the 4th one didn't go through, I would have died. And like that makes me think, you know, hard work, perseverance, and you know, goes down that road. And like I've always been that type of person. I just haven't had a very quality focus. Yeah, but other than that, hey, we got a 685 already. That kind of snuck up on me. I didn't see it yet. That push isn't. It shouldn't be over though. If it stays like this, that's actually a bear sign. But it has to be like that for a while and consolidate between. Nah. Nah, still going up. All right. He's got like a 10 million stan army who will follow him into anything. He could literally say, I love Pop-Tarts, and suddenly every store will be sold out. You're so true. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah, everyone's pegging him as like a mass manipulator. I'm just glad he's doing like some positive things with it, or at least he like has that symbol of being positive with it in some cases. I don't know. All I know is it could have been worse. Yeah. All right, guys. It's 10:30. I'm going to go ice my back and probably go back to looking at more trading stuff, and hopefully keep this day trade into a more ideal trade, which could be tomorrow, or it could be, 2 on Wednesday. Don't know. We'll see. But KASA, yeah, it can't really give a comment on it. I wouldn't short it. Like, yeah, no consistent resistance. Like, this was only like a pre-market breakout kind of thing. Yeah, definitely doesn't have the range to short anyway. Nothing resistance related to like short it down. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. Have a good day, guys. Since I didn't see you yesterday, happy Easter. Peace.